She brought a monogrammed blanket to the hospital with a name we never agreed to. Then she said, "If he's our blood, he should carry my name." I ordered a DNA test that week. Welcome to Family Showdowns Daily. Daily narrated stories about real-life conflicts and how people get through them. Names and details are changed. Today, my mother-in-law tried to name our son after herself, pushed bloodline rules at the hospital, and hinted I wasn't the father. I didn't yell. I got receipts, including a DNA test. Let's begin. My name is Daniel. My wife is Ava. We picked a name at 20 weeks. Miles Arthur. Miles because we loved the sound. Arthur for Ava's granddad. We told nobody. At the shower, my mother-in-law, Carol, rolled in with centerpieces that said Little C. She tapped the mic. "We're all so excited to meet Carson." Guests clapped. I froze. Ava squeezed my hand under the table. After, Ava said gently, "Mom, we aren't announcing names." Carol smiled like a teacher correcting a child. "Tradition matters, sweetheart. He should carry my name, Carol Carson. Close enough." We laughed it off. We shouldn't have. Ava went into labor at 3 a.m., quiet winter streets, our hospital bag finally making sense. 12 hours later, our son had a cry like a stubborn trumpet. Perfect. In recovery, a nurse wheeled in visitors 2 at a time. Carol arrived first, with a monogrammed blanket, CARSON in huge stitched letters. She draped it over the bassinet before I could move. "I ordered this months ago," she said. "I knew he'd be a Carson." Iva whispered, "Mom, please." Carol leaned toward me. "Daniel, if he's our blood, he should carry my name. That's how families stay families." Our nurse, an angel named Brenda, quietly folded the blanket and set it on a chair. Carol's smile thinned. The next morning, Carol cornered me in the family lounge with the kind of tone people use for gossip. "He doesn't look like you," she said. "Newborns don't usually have that nose. Are you sure? If there's any doubt, better to know. My friends say lots of men are raising babies that aren't theirs." I stared at the vending machine like it was a moral compass. "I'm sure," I said. She tilted her head. "Then prove it. Let's do a DNA test. We'll all sleep better. Especially you." I walked back to Ava and told her everything. She blinked hard, then said, "We are not giving my mom 1 inch of control over our son. But if you want to do a test to shut this down, I'll back you. Not for her, for us." We agreed on 2 things that hour. 1. No names on social or to family until we leave the hospital. 2. We'll handle a legal chain of custody paternity test after discharge. Our call, not Carol's. Brenda the nurse quietly wrote, "Parents' wishes, no unapproved items on bassinet," on the whiteboard. Bless Brenda. Back home, sleep-deprived and overjoyed, I made coffee and printed a plan. Not for drama, for clarity. We booked a court-admissible paternity test at an accredited lab. Cheek swabs, chain of custody, IDs, report in 3 to 5 business days. We texted both families a boundary note. "We love you. We've chosen our son's name. Birth certificate paperwork is our decision. Visits by invite only for 2 weeks so Ava can heal. No gifts with names, please." We muted the family group chat for the weekend. Carol replied with a paragraph about tradition, lineage, and "You'll regret cutting me out." I didn't reply. Ava didn't either. We fed our baby and slept in 90-minute islands. At the lab, the tech was kind and efficient. "It's routine," she said. "More common than you think." She sealed the envelopes like they were treasure. Back in the car, Ava put her hand on mine. "No matter what Carol says, you are this boy's dad, and his name is not up for a vote." 3 days later, the email arrived with the subject line, "Paternity test result." My hands shook just because I'm human. I opened it. Probability of paternity, 99.999%. Conclusion: Daniel is the biological father of the child. It felt like a door closing softly. Not on our son, on doubts that weren't mine. We invited Carol and my father-in-law, Rick, over that evening. We set out tea because this wasn't a brawl. It was a boundary. I started plain. We did a paternity test, our choice. It confirms what we already knew. I slid a copy of the one-page conclusion across the table. Carol scanned, cheeks blotchy pink. Well, good. Then we can talk about Carson again. Ava spoke, voice steady. Mom, stop. His name is Miles Arthur. We're filing the birth certificate tomorrow. If you bring anything with Carson on it again, it won't come into our house. Carol's mouth fell open. Rick, who'd been quiet for 20 years, cleared his throat. Carol, enough. You pushed. You were wrong. Their baby. Their rules. Carol cried. Loud, the kind that reaches for an audience that isn't there. I just wanted our name carried on. I stood, picked up the monogrammed blanket from the chair where Brenda had tucked it at the hospital, and placed it, folded, into a donation box by the door. This isn't about names, I said. It's about control, and that's over. We filed the birth certificate, Miles Arthur. We texted the announcement to both families with a simple photo, baby fingers, Ava's ring, and a little card that read, "Welcome home, Miles." For 2 weeks, Carol went silent, then sent a short text. Can I come by and just hold him? I'll call him Miles. We said yes with conditions. Short visit, no advice unless asked, and no names talk. She brought lasagna. She whispered, "Hi, Miles," like a truce. Do I trust her completely? Number, but I trust us. Our plan, our paper, our ability to say no. We kept one souvenir. The lab report, minus IDs, in a sleeve behind Miles's vaccination card. Not because we need it, because sometimes a receipt teaches a person to respect a boundary. Moral. Tradition isn't a hall pass for control. Your child's name, your paperwork, your boundaries, that's on you, not extended family. If someone starts using bloodline to push you around, you can respond with facts, paper, and a clear no. Calm wins. Question. If a relative tried to rename your baby, what would your line in the sand be? If this story helped, please like and subscribe, and check the playlist In-Laws and Boundaries. New narrated story every day.